There you are. Thanks for stopping by for More Explore Tulsa.
You'll be glad you did too, because our next guest is a woman that has spent her entire career helping companies learn the importance of improving their presentations through clear communication.
Plus, Lee Clark Johns was recently awarded the Sadie Adwan Lifetime Achievement Award from the Association for Women in Communications.
A well-deserved honor for a woman who inspires as much as she teaches.
Now, you're from the area,
I'm
right?
a native.
You grew
Tulsa.
up here, and where'd you go to school?
Edison. I'm a graduate of Edison High School.
Now, I read in some of the things that you were talking about that you were at Edison at a time when they were picking like the school song.
Oh, we planted the trees and the grass. It was basic. My class was the first one to start in the 7th grade and go through. And we opened up the new high school. So we literally did all of the work. I remember the day that they brought the music in for Hail, Hail to Edison, and we saw it for the first time.
Now, when you were in school at Edison, did you ever think at that time that something like this was going to evolve in your life?
No. In fact, I prepared to be a teacher, and I did teach at Hale and then in universities, but I had never heard of anyone doing the corporate training. So in a sense, I didn't invent it, but I invented it for myself.
So when you say that nothing like this had been before, you know, that there wasn't
that
a
I had
lot
heard
that
of.
you knew of, what was it what was your first opportunity to get involved in this?
Well, I heard about it for the first time in Michigan. I was on a Citizens Advisory Group for Education, and one of the accountants came to a meeting and said that he had just been at a session at his big national conference and someone was teaching writing, and that's my specialty, was teaching writing. And so when I moved back to Tulsa, was teaching part-time at Oral Roberts University and wanted to start this, our neighbors across the street, my parents' neighbors and family friends, asked what I was doing, and he headed a major engineering firm here, the one that had built the Tulsa water system, Hallway Engineering. And so he was very interested in it, and he said, "Do you need a company to practice on?" And I said, "Yes, I do." So my very first client was the lead engineering company in Tulsa, and I started my learning process at that point that workplace writing and academic writing were very different. I've learned as much from my clients over the years as they have from me, because we're talking about being prepared to do one thing in school but then needing different skills in the workplace.
Now, you've traveled all over the world.
Yes, I have.
Teaching this. Tell us about your book and some of those experiences.
The book is called The Writing Coach. It is written for adults. Most books on writing are not written for adults, they're written for college-age students. And it uses these examples from the real world. It uses the examples from my classes. I got permission to use them. The names have been changed, the dates, and so forth. And so they are very relevant. A lot of the examples are original and revised. So once again, people are learning from people like them, not from me, that I can write, but that people like they are can also write. So that's one piece of it. It's very practical. The traveling all over the world, one would think that it's different in the various places I go. It's not. I'm working with the people from that area normally, but they have learned from the offspring of the same educational system that we in the United States. We were a colony, but South Americans were colonized, and the Middle East was colonized, and India and Pakistan were colonized. And so that Western European educational system and the models spread to the world. So it's identical to what I teach here.
And with you traveling like you do, and you've been in different parts of the country and the world, why continue to operate out of Tulsa? What does this mean to you to be here in your hometown?
Well, it's my place. It's where I started. It's easy here. I was doing some work for Amoco in Chicago a few years ago, walking back to the hotel thinking, oh, the kids are grown, they're gone, it's beautiful, it's almost Thanksgiving. Chicago's a great place. And then it took me 45 minutes to get to the airport the next day. And I thought, I can fly to Chicago, but Tulsa's easy, an easy place to be.